Hello, hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we're working on the 8th recipe from the cinnamon roll murder. It is called Pucker Up Lemon Cake. It is kind of a long one. It does have ingredients in 2 separate spots. For the cake yourself, you are going to want to preheat the oven to 350. You're going to want 1 large lemon, 1 cup golden raisins, 1/3 cup pecans, 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 cups of white sugar, 1/2 cup of softened butter, 1 teaspoon of lemon extract, 3/4 cup whole milk, 2 large eggs, and then 1/4 cup of whole milk. This brings the milk total up to 1 cup. And then for the Pucker Up Lemon Cake topping, you are going to want 1/3 cup of lemon juice from the lemon you juiced earlier, 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 cup finely chopped pecans. There are a couple of notes in this recipe. The first one is I think it's possible to make this cake by hand, but it will take a strong arm to do it. Lisa and I use an electric stand mixer. Some people may still have a food grinder in their kitchen cabinet. If you do, get it out and use it. If you don't, use a food processor and a steel blade, because you are using the entire part of the lemon. You're going to cut it in half, you're going to juice it. The juice is going to go for the topping, and the rinds and the pulp you are going to grind. I have never seen this done. I am intrigued to see it. I do not own a food mill grinder. I've been looking at them for a couple years now. I can't see spending $40 or $50 for something you're going to pull out twice a year, so I haven't gotten one. I will try it in the Ninja though, so hopefully that works. You are putting this in a 9x13 pan. You're going to want to grease and flour or spray it with the flour spray. The second note is you must make the topping and put it on your cake while the cake is still piping hot from the oven. You can serve Pucker Up Lemon Cake at room temperature or chilled. It freezes well if you wrap it in foil and put it in a freezer bag. So, with that being said, let's get started. Here is everything we're going to need for the Pucker Up Lemon Cake and the topping. So to start, we are taking our lemon rinds, the raisins, and the pecans. And we're just going to, spin this until we have a pulp. I think that's about all that's going to happen with that. So we're just going to set this aside for right now. We should be done with the blender, so let's get rid of that. Into our, just to put 1 cup of the flour. It's 1 cup of our flour. Add the salt and the baking soda. And our sugar. We're going to mix those on low. We're going to mix the rest of the flour in. Why you had to measure a cup, I don't know. It could have just said half. Next, we're going to mix in the softened butter, the lemon extract, and the milk. The 3/4 cup of milk. Butter. Extract. 3/4 cup of milk. I've never seen the butter added this late before. It's very strange. It says to turn this to medium-high and let it beat for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you're going to add your eggs. Scrape down the sides. Add our eggs one at a time. And then our 1/4 cup of milk. And then it says to give it another 2 minutes of mixing. All right. I'm going to scrape this down again. So once we have our batter mixed and our puree, pulpy stuff, you're going to gradually add this into your batter and fold it gently. I'm just going to go a spoonful at a time, I guess. I don't know how to, outside of like breaking it up, I'm not really sure how to mix this, because if I scoop it, it just stays clumped. So I guess I'm just gonna have to get over my hands getting gross. And I know I've used zest in a lot of recipes, and usually it's only like a teaspoon, maybe, you know, 2 if it's a big recipe. I have never used an entire lemon. That just seems like it's going to be so lemony. Plus they added the lemon extract. But then people eat candied peels too, so this is definitely going to be one of those experimental ones. And it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be so gross. Obviously, I always err on the side of wanting it to be amazing, because I hate wasting ingredients, and who wants to eat something gross? Though I have to say, the raisins and the lemon, that's going to be an odd flavor. They don't really seem like fruits that would go together. Said earlier, you want your pan that you greased. I used the baking spray because that's just what I like the best. And in it goes. The batter itself isn't stiff or anything, so I'm assuming the reason they said that it was hard to do it by hand was the length of mixing required. It says to bake this for 40 to 50 minutes or until a thin wooden skewer comes out clean. It says I started testing my cake at 40 minutes, but there was still sticky batter clinging to the tester. The last time I baked this cake, it took the full 50 minutes. So let's get this in the oven and we will check. And this is what our cake looks like before it is in the oven. Okay, so this did just come out of the oven. It does not mention stabbing holes like a lot of the other recipes do, so I guess we're just going to pour the lemon juice on. It is sizzling. It does say to do this while it is still piping hot. You're going to mix your cinnamon and your sugar together. Probably should do this while your cake is still in the oven. Now we're going to sprinkle this on top. And then our pecans go on top. Just sprinkled on top. And it says to let this cool to room temperature, cover it and refrigerate it until it is cold, and then you're ready to eat. This is what our cake looks like now. Here is our cake out of the fridge. It feels dense. It is very heavy on the lemon. Not overpowering though. It's not like a bitter, bad lemon flavor. You can definitely taste the raisins in there. Almost like a lemony, carroty, cinnamon sugar, donutty vibe. Like I said, it's interesting. It's different for sure. It's pretty good. All in all, not bad. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Next week, we will be moving on to, if I get the right page, Eleanor Olsen's oatmeal cookies. So if you are interested in seeing that, join us next week. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.